Good evening and welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. Uh, the more I do my show called Think About It Using Common Sense, um, seems like people are getting further and further away from common sense. We had another shooting today. I didn't get the details of it. I just heard that there was another shooting. I think a couple of people got killed, mass shooting. But it seems now it's like every day there's a shooting in some school, not to mention neighborhoods, playgrounds, some robbery, and somebody's getting shot. I think we're at a point now where we just have to accept the fact that we live in a violent society. Bottom line, uh, last week, a young boy goes to the wrong house. The owner comes out, bam, shoots him dead. And they said once the boy fell on the ground, they said that the owner shot him again. The boy was black and the shooter was white. And in another incident, girls, some girls in a car pulls up in the driveway to turn around. The man comes out shooting and killed this girl, took her life. And people are trigger happy. But that's what happens when you have 4 million guns and then you have people spreading fear and rumors of violence and people want to kill. And, it makes people at the point whereas they shoot first and ask questions later. I wrote an article called the couple of weeks ago called the modern day OK Corral. That's where they had a major shootout. But people, we got to stop. We have to stop. If we want to live in a society whereas there's less killing, more togetherness, more love, then we have to do this. Then we have to be examples of this. We have to stop all the lies and the killings. You know, Fox News settled a suit from Dominion. I think it had something to do with lies that were being told about voting machines. And it cost them 750 million to settle the suit. But the thing about it is all this negativity and all this hatred and racism that's being perpetrated is having an effect. And what we are seeing is an effect of, of the lies and not only that, but what's been happening or has happened in the past where people were not, where drugs were being put into neighborhoods, where people wasn't educated properly, families was broken apart. All these things goes into what we are seeing today. So whether people think they're part of it or not, we all are a part of this thing. You can't have a handful of people at the top having all the wealth, the majority of the wealth. It's not going to work. This is what's happening. I heard someone yesterday, I think it was on the news, the lady was talking about these business owners. Like, they're losing customers. They're not getting as much, they're not making as much money, or they're not getting as many customers that they normally would get. But at the same time, a lot of these business owners, and I'm talking about a lot of them, are overcharging people. They want to get rich overnight. And they don't realize that what they're doing, they're hurting themselves. Because by you overcharging people, and people don't have the money, they're not going to come and spend money with you. And that's everybody. From the top all the way down, they're making money. People are being overcharged. And I don't care who you are, don't tell me you're making billions of dollars in profit and you're not overcharging people. Where's the common sense? That's common sense. You're making money. People are getting overcharged. Millions upon millions of dollars in profit. People are getting overcharged. Don't tell me I can go to one store and here the guy's gonna charge me $20 for a sandwich. And then some of the sandwiches you got stale bread, not necessarily stale, but day old bread. And then some of these restaurants and these stores, they act like they're doing you a favor by selling you old stuff for a top price. You're spending your money with these people, and you should get quality goods, quality sandwiches, fresh meat, fresh bread. But no, but everybody wants to put the money in the pocket and give the customers not what they're paying for. Let's put it that way. And it's time for people to wake up. You see, instead of you having a sandwich, instead of selling a sandwich for $20 and nobody's coming in your store to buy it, sell it for 10 or 12. Now everybody's coming in there to buy it. It's just common sense. Common sense, people. You don't have to make all the money on one sale. But if you got 5 sales, as long as the money's turning, you got to stop it, man. You're shooting yourself in the foot. This whole economy, this whole basis of the whole system is because people are greedy. They want it all. They don't want people to have anything. They red line districts where people are living. Don't want to put money in it because they want to get so bad that you have to move. And in time you move, they come in and redevelop. Some of these houses and apartment buildings being built, I even talked to developers. I said, man, look at that thing. I said, that building's so cheap, looked like if somebody hit it on one corner, the whole thing would fall in. You know what his answer to me was? It's under code. It's under code, and they're only building to last a certain length of time anyway. Look at some of these buildings in these hurricanes and tornadoes. Look at them. They're nothing. All you see is some studs and sheetrock and tin siding. Somebody's making money, but it's not the low income, it's not the middle class 1 and 2. And on top of that, these robotics and AIs, artificial intelligence, people, you better be afraid. That's the best way I can put it. because they're coming after you. These rich people no longer want to pay you anything. And using common sense, what's the rush? What's the rush? Where are you going? You have nowhere to go. So why not build a sustainable economy that's going to keep people working, keep everything flowing, moving smooth, everybody making money, providing for their family? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with educating people, teaching people, educating people in the right way for jobs that's going to be available in the future? I don't understand. You know, a rocket went up the other day, and the thing exploded. First day they said, "Oh, that was okay. That was a good thing. We learned from it. Good thing. Thank God nobody was in it." And I don't understand. Like they talk about this space program. Okay, the space program. How many people are going to be living in outer space? So that's not for now. It's not for this generation. Okay, so it might be for the next generation. But no matter what, the human body, the mind, was not made, and humans were not made to live in a spaceship in outer space. Bottom line. Bottom line. I don't care what they say, it's bottom line. It's common sense. We humans are made to live here on Earth. And when you have an artificial environment, because that's what you're making, then you're going to have artificial people. Things change. If you take an element or the ingredients out of something, it's not that thing anymore. Common sense. You take two seeds, two of the same seeds, and plant each one in different soil. Excuse me. The fruits is going to be different. Just that simple. But for some reason or other, people just can't seem to understand the principles of life. You know, and it's simple. That's what makes a philosopher great, I think, is that they can take things and reduce it to the lowest level where people can see and understand. I never could understand these big words that you need a dictionary to define. So all you have to do is just say it. Or I can never understand fine print when you want somebody to know something that's important. You make it so small that you can't even read it. And speaking of that, yesterday I went to purchase some gas. Right? So I'm riding, so I see this station that says gas $3.69 a gallon. Okay, so I pull in and I start fueling my tank. But then on the pump, it had gas $3.89 a gallon. Okay. So right away I'm saying, whoa, I look at that and I look at the sign. I said, oh no, I can't get it. I no. So when I finished pumping my gas, I went in the store and the cashier, I told him, I said, look, I said, the sign says $3.69 a gallon, but the pump is charging me $3.89 a gallon. He said, cash. He said, cash is different. I said, what do you mean cash is different? I said, I didn't see no sign that says cash. Uh, cash is 369. He said, there it is. And he pointed to the sign. And the word cash was so small, I had to get a magnifying glass almost to see it. So you see, everybody is conning, ripping people off. Everybody. Everybody. I go to a restaurant and my girlfriend and I, we bought 2 sandwiches and to go. And soda or something. Anyway, the 2 sandwiches, whatever, came to almost like $40. Okay. I could not eat the sandwich. The bread was a day old, and whatever they cooked, it was like mush. So I threw it out. I couldn't eat it. So I went back, called him up the next day, following day, explained to him that those sandwiches that he sold us for that amount of money was a disgrace, that I couldn't eat it, and I threw it out. So he said, "Well, next time you come back, and we'll give you another sandwich." And I told him, I said, the sandwiches was bad. I said, but you shouldn't sell someone that garbage for the amount of money that you charged us for those sandwiches. And he said, well, yeah, I said, I appreciate that. But my point to you is, you should not sell people stuff like that for their money and take their money. Because you knew what you was giving. You knew it. But for some reason, people think that they are doing you a favor by selling you garbage like that for top dollar. And it's not even that good. But that's the problem with the world today. And then everybody wants to holler when people are going off, when people are getting angry, and people are losing their temper. And everybody wants to wonder why. It, like, for an example, is no reason under the sun with these politicians that we elected and we pay them to do their job. It's no reason in the world why we should be having these problems with gun control, AR-15, assault weapons. No reason for it. Nobody's trying to take anybody's weapon, but you got to have some guidelines. You got to have some checks and balances on these weapons, man. People are getting killed. Children are getting killed, and nobody seems to care. And politicians, hey, they don't even care because they're not doing anything. But then, if people, when time to vote these people into office, if people did their job and voted these politicians out of office, something would get done. So I'm thinking now, the blame is on the American people. We got to start doing better. I'm tired, man. I'm really, really, really tired. But I just I just can't understand why these people are doing this. Why the American people must have their heads buried in the sand or something. How in the world can you let a news station like Fox come out and broadcast lies that they know is lies, causing this insurrection on our capital, perpetuating a coup on our government and our elected officials is just like Fox News. They doing and saying the same thing. But Fox gets sued, but yet the politician is still in office. This is crazy. This is insane. And then finally, Fox did something. They let Tucker Carlson go, and they should let others go. Because to get sued for lying, okay, and then after that, you're going to come back and still start broadcasting the same lies. What's the point? And nothing's done. What's the point? What's the point? And they still uh, from what I'm hearing, there's still other suits out there, but this is America. We know what America was, what people have done in the past. Okay, we did that. Nothing can undo it. But we can make a better future. We can. No matter what color you are, we can live together. I mean, you can still be you can be separate, but you can respect an individual as being a human being. You know, who you choose to be your friend, that is your business. But you don't have to hate someone because they look different from you. This is the problem, it's hate. It's almost like you know, a seal has been broken. And hate is just coming out. And that's what this whole thing is about. That's what it's about. If people just stop hating so much. Let people live, man. What makes one person think they gotta be boss over the whole world? For what? Just because you want to feel superior? That's all. When you really break it down, use some common sense, it's only a feeling. That's it's sad, but it's the truth though. When you really think about it, it's all how you feel. You ain't walking around with billions and billions of dollars in your pockets and stuff like that. And it's just how you feel. You want to carry yourself. You feel powerful. If you get sick, you'll call a doctor just like anybody else. Your doctors may be a better qualified, but still, you're gonna call a doctor just like anybody else would call a doctor. But people have to stop putting putting these people up on pedestals. You know, sure, but you haven't had the opportunity. All these people got opportunity. They got legs up. It's who you know to put you in a lot of these positions. I heard something the other day. I tried to save it too. It was on one of these talent shows, and excuse me, and it was this young boy. I think he was from England or something. He was like 13 years old, and he was singing opera. I have never in my life, young black boy, not that color matters, but I'm just saying that because that's all people be talking about now. But this was a young black boy, 13 years old, and that boy sung this opera song. And that was the most beautiful thing I ever heard. It brought tears in my eyes. So people have talent. But if you don't nurture it and bring it out, guess what? It just lays dormant until it fades away. So it's not just because this person has this and has that. He's excuse me, he's so much smarter than someone else. No. Mm-mm. You just haven't had the chance. He may even be smarter, you know. Look at all these multi-billionaires and trillionaires. They got their start from somebody. If the fathers didn't leave it to them, and this and that, and how the fathers get it, they got it, and they kept something from this person and that person, and maneuvered from this and from that. That's it. You don't make all that money by being fair with people. You don't. It's just common sense. People just need to, start thinking more about themselves, not in a selfish way, but in a loving way. Because if you love yourself, then you're going to love everything around you. You're going to inspect everything that enter into your body. You're going to eat different. You're going to think different. You're going to put yourself in different environments. You're going to want to do everything to make yourself better. Because that's what life is all about. Life ain't about just working, working, and working to get into a certain age and die. So wait to a certain age and get cancer and you get sick. Mm-mm. It's not what life is about. These are the uh well, I wouldn't call them repercussions, but the doing results of doing not doing what you're supposed to do. Results of not thinking right. Results of not eating right. I've never heard anybody die from doing the right thing. We don't even know what the right thing is. Death is something that's been put in our mind uh, that once it's in your mind, then you already got that focus. Well, I'm gonna do this, do this, do this before I die. You understand? This is what's been put into our minds, and this is how we live. What if we was living on a instead of 24 hours in a day, suppose we was living like um say 48 hours in a day. What if we was on a different time clock? How would we be living? Um, how would we live if we was actually realize that even though now I hear it more now than I have because I've been thinking about this for years and years, but now all of a sudden I'm beginning to hear now. Oh, well, you can think within yourself and you can cure yourself by thinking this way and that way and this way. Now they slowly begin to come out with that. Nothing's changed. It's been like that all the time. But it's money. Everything is money. All these chemicals. Don't you think all these chemicals that's being put in the foods that you eat is causing cancer or something in your body to malfunction? It's common sense. Over time, generations. People don't think. They just want to come out. Why do you think they put sugar, for an example? Sugar or sweeteners in things. You know why? Because it's addictive. Sugar, that sweetness is addictive to make you want to get it. Say, for example, let's take ice cream. Well, anything that's sweet, sodas. You don't drink sodas that's bitter, do you? No. Even though the bitter drink is better for you, but you don't want that. You want the drink that tastes good. You want a drink, an orange drink that have 60, 70 grams of sugar in it. Okay. So now they're gonna take the sugar out and they're gonna make it diet, but it's still sweet. So now what's the diet come from? Where's that come from? That's kind of scary. Sweet, no sugar, a grape drink with no grape. you know, it's just it's not, it's funny in one sense, but it's sad in another, to show how far people have gone off the deep end. And even now, you know, people still, they have like do some talk shows, or they might go out on the street and ask people some questions about, the election. Oh, people right now saying, oh, the election was stolen. Now, now don't let's not forget that Foxton came out and said they was lying when they said that. People come right out, oh no, no, Biden is not president. It's Trump. If you want to believe Trump is your president, fine. But don't disregard what the truth is, because when you really think about it, and I think about it all the time, you know, uh, I think the president of the United States, you know, how can you have somebody president of the United States who have never had any political experience at all and gonna get elected and then start making life and death decisions around the world with no knowledge of anything? How is that possible? It's not. It's impossible. So you better believe everything is happens for a reason. You know, nothing just happens, fall out of the sky. You know, and people need to start thinking about it, because you, your family, your children, their children, your grandchildren, your great great grand, all of their lives is at stake now. This is just not something that's going away. Don't you realize if people in this country, you lose your freedom is gone and will never return. Never. So you better think and watch, and learn who you vote for. And the Supreme Court, oh my goodness, Clarence Thomas, it's a disgrace. And he have nobody to blame but himself. So you get in there, you put yourself in a situation, you do these things, people find out about these things, and now you want to try and cover them up. But you did them. So what's that to cover up? If you did it, be man or woman enough to say, okay, you caught me. I got to step down. It's just that simple. If you don't want to pay the price for what you're doing, then don't do it. Don't do it. And that goes for anybody. You go out here, you commit crimes, you do these heinous things, you get caught. Now you want to get a lawyer to get you out. Then why'd you do it? And then lawyers, not all of them, but they just they know they know sometimes that their defendants are guilty, but they don't care. It's all about money. It's all about money. I think law should be taught in schools. Law should be taught in high schools, because a lot of times, maybe if people knew uh, when they was breaking the law, or when they were about to break the law, maybe they wouldn't do it. But it's not taught. It's not taught in the ghetto schools. That's for sure. You know, television. I mean, they can. I mean, people watch whatever they want to watch. Well, come on, don't act like television isn't playing a part in these kids. It's crazy, but again, it's all about the money. And until people start being responsible and start taking blame for what's happening, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. These gun laws should have been changed a long time ago. Why are you going to have somebody purchase an AR-15 and you don't get some kind of background check. Come on. That's a military grade weapon. That's common sense. You know, I don't see why you can't. I mean, put some with all the technology we got today. You can't put some kind of signals or alarm system around schools or something that doors that you can't get a weapon in. And I don't. I mean, schools with armed guards. It's a bit much. It's a bit much, man. But when you get to a point where you have to have that, then we're becoming like animals. We're becoming like sophisticated, intelligent animals because animals live in fear, and that's what we're living in. To the point you got somebody come up and turn around in your driveway, you're gonna come out and shoot them. Somebody knock on your door just to ask a question, you're gonna pull your guns out and shoot them. You got no respect. You have no respect for your police officers based on what we be seeing, and we realize that their life could be very well in danger. It's not a safe job that they have. But at the same time, we have got to do better. We have got to do better. This is the only place we have. This is the only place we have to live is this planet Earth. And for what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing, we may not have too much longer to be living on this planet or having the life that we're having because our natural resources and the planet itself, the climate, is responding to us. They're fighting back. These viruses, come on. They say we got all these different viruses. Are we getting viruses or are we getting a breakdown uh, of our immune system? They tell me, from what I understand, viruses they're already here. Just our immune system is fighting them off. You know? So if that's the case, then I think we need to start paying attention to how you think. So you need more than just a strong body. You also need a strong mind. Because the body is an extension of your mind. And I think people need to really start paying attention to life and get serious with life. Get serious and take care of your children and educate your children. Doesn't take a lot. And the things that we think is important really isn't. But you just don't know any better. And when I start talking about things that you don't know about, I go back to my fake rabbit. The fake rabbit is that rabbit that's connected to a truck that runs down the track to get these greyhound dogs to run it. And they be running thinking they chasing a real rabbit, but it's not. And that's what people are doing. They're chasing a fake rabbit, thinking it's real, and it's not. But the consequences in what you're giving up is dire. And it's something that you cannot retrieve once this physical body is gone. Once your physical body is gone. And your physical body is a manifestation of you, what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're thinking, everything. There's no limit. There's no limit to you. There's no limit to your power. There's no limit to your abilities. But you have to know you have these things. Capable of acquiring and achieving anything that's in your mind. Because if you couldn't achieve it, it wouldn't be in your mind. You ever think about something? Sometimes I can't help but think about things like it seems like everything that you need or everything that you even think about, somebody done made it, is out there. It's amazing the things that you look at, and they're out there, you know. And that's to me, that's fascinating to me. But I'm saying, I don't care what it is, it's out there, or somebody can make it. And when you look at that thing that's made, look like it got so many nuts and bolts and wires and this and that and this and that. They make it. It's working. That tells you it comes out of the mind. But they don't tell you that. The people at the top is not going to tell you what you're capable of and what you can do because they don't want competition. They don't want competition. They want you out here fighting against the white, the black, the red, the yellow, the orange people, green people. They all want you out here fighting because once you're fighting, you can't think about them. And you better start thinking about things because, if you go look in the supermarkets, they're not as full as since that pandemic, they're not as full as they were before the pandemic. You know? Another thing about that space thing and about food, they're growing beef and chicken, in science laboratories now. You know that. I saw him. The guy was eating this chicken made in a laboratory meat. He said he can't tell the difference between that and chicken. But see that I can understand that's from that space stuff. You understand? For that space stuff out in outer space, because they got to be able to eat out there. They don't have no cows out there. They can make it have a whole place to do nothing, just make meat for them. But at the same time, see that laboratory stuff that's made is going to cause different effects on the body because it doesn't have the life. It isn't made like like uh like baby calves, whatever. You understand? It doesn't go through that same process. So not going through that same process, it changes things. You see, just like a test tube baby. I'm sure it looks the same, walk the same, see the same, but you can't see what's inside it. That process of making that baby does not go through that same process. So therefore, it's different. It's different, and it's going to be different. So outer space is one thing, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to be human life outer space. And I tell people that all the time. The next generation, maybe not this one, maybe the young kids might see the babies that's being born now. They might see it. They might see some spaceships coming in with some alien space people on them. But those are space people that I think that been born in outer space 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Because you're going to develop in a weightless environment, and a weightless environment means number one, you don't have any muscles. Everything floats and means you're going to be reaching for the floating stuff. So your arms going to develop around that. You can have long arms and long fingers. It's just common sense. Big head because that's what you use mostly. Now, everything develops around its environment and what you're doing in that environment. That's how you develop and what you need. It's time for people to start thinking, because people, you're not included. The low income, middle class 1 and 2, you're not included. There's no need for you. No need for you. Think about it. Why is it capped pretty soon? You guess what? You're gonna be a fresh water shortage. Fresh water shortage. Guaranteed. And we need to conserve. You don't want to wait till things get bad to conserve, start conserving. You don't. These people, they don't care. They're making all the money they want. All the money. And then they go to a poor country and live like a king. Some of them. And they live like a king here, too. A lot of them. But just things that we've got to start paying attention to in this world, and we're not. And that we all can be held accountable, because we all gonna have to pay for it. Everybody. Those that don't have, they really gonna suffer. Really gonna suffer. Look at the real estate market now. One room and a bathroom, $800-900 a month. Somebody's making money. Tons of money. But anyway, on that note, thank you so much for listening to me and allowing me to come back into your life, your home today. Thank you.